Hello and welcome to the final episode of WTV this season. I'm Kaya Sparks.
And I'm Martana Bazi. We have lots of interesting stories for you tonight, from celebrating Black history to learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
That's right, but first here's Katie Gordon with this week's news.
Thank you, Artan and Kaya. The Nova Scotia Community College had no reports of sexual assault on any of its 13 campuses between 2009 and 2013. That's according to College Registrar Patsy McDonald. McDonald confirms that the college was contacted by CBC for an investigation that the organization did about sexual assaults on campuses across the country. The investigation found more than 700 assaults had been reported at 77 universities and colleges. NSCC was not included in the final report. Some experts say the overall findings are low and may mean students don't feel comfortable coming forward. McDonald says NSCC takes student safety seriously and encourages them to report any assault to student service counselors at their campus. An online ad for a new condo has landed a Dartmouth development company in some hot water on social media. The ad for Kings Wharf condos featured 2 prison inmates and the caption, "Price so you'll do nothing you will regret." Local blogger Kate Watson shared her thoughts about the ad on Twitter. Watson says she's disappointed that the ad agency thought a prison rape joke would appeal to a younger demographic.
To me, that isn't funny or appropriate, and so I tweeted that, and there was lots of discussion around it. Some people felt it was funny. Some people said there's free speech.
Watson says Kings Wharf developer Fares Incorporated acted appropriately and took down the advertisement shortly after receiving negative feedback on Twitter last Wednesday. The general manager for the development company told WTV that the ad was in poor taste and they apologized to anyone they offended. This winter has brought Nova Scotians plenty of snow and ice. For many, it's made driving a concern. But sometimes the danger isn't below the tires, it's over our heads. WTV's Graham McDougall joins us live with more.
Thanks, Katie. We're talking about icicles. Hanging ice can be a real concern for people living in colder climates. In fact, one Russian newspaper reported that over 100 people die each year due to falling ice. But is there a risk here at home? I hit the streets to find out more. Icicles. Nature's decoration or potential hanging hazards?
Well, I think it's very dangerous, actually.
Halifax's weather has been wet and cold. The perfect recipe for icicles. Hanging ice can cause damage to buildings, and if the ice falls, it has the potential to harm pedestrians walking on the sidewalk below. Elizabeth Vader works in downtown Dartmouth. She uses the sidewalks in the area and has seen icicles dangling from local businesses.
But as you can see, when you walk on the street, there are some buildings that still have them there. So I guess maybe the owners of those buildings should be made aware of that.
City officials say that it's the responsibility of the property owner to remove ice before it becomes dangerous to people passing below. Enforcement of this bylaw is complaint-driven. No complaint, no enforcement. Sarah Kingston owns the Portland Street Boutique, room 152.
The losing battle, really. I mean, the last time, even though they've kind of formed again, I just did it like literally an hour ago. So you have to keep an eye out constantly throughout the day. Otherwise, I mean, someone can get smucked in the head, or you know, it's just creating this big puddle in front of the store that's eventually freezing. So it's hard to keep up on.
Pedestrians are urged to speak up if they spot an issue in order to prevent icicle-related injuries. Halifax officials say that there have been 5 complaints this year about potentially dangerous icicles, but Capitol Health says there have been no reports of injuries as of yet. When WTV told Vader about the icicle bylaw, she said she was surprised to learn it was the property owner's responsibility to clear away the ice. She says she thinks people should speak up if they see the potential for danger. Katie?
Thank you, Graham. That was WTV's Graham McDougall reporting live from outside the NSCC waterfront campus. Monday marked Nova Scotia's first annual Heritage Day. This year, it honored the life and struggle of African Nova Scotian Viola Desmond. In 1946, Desmond was arrested and charged for refusing to move out of a whites-only section of a movie theater in New Glasgow. Events were held across the province to honor Desmond. One paid tribute through song. Musicians took part in the Viola Desmond singer-songwriting contest. The contest was held by Music Nova Scotia. and the goal was to create a song inspired by Desmond's story. It was a full house on Friday as 3 finalists took the stage at Casino Nova Scotia to perform their songs.
Music is a huge contributor to social justice change, and has a long history of encouraging people to think outside the box.
East Preston rapper Michael Earl, aka Mage, performed his original song Head Held High, which won him the competition and the $10,000 cash prize. Music Nova Scotia hopes to produce an album featuring the top 30 song entries from the contest. All the recent snow and ice meant many people had to cancel their plans for the long weekend, and the weather made a mess of Sackville's Snow Days Festival, canceling some of the events, but people still got to enjoy part of the weekend. The festival was inspired by the old winter carnival held in Sackville in the 80s and 90s. The Sackville Business Association decided to bring back the winter fun when the new February holiday was announced.
We have a lot of families in Sackville, so we really wanted some fun, family, free events that everybody could kind of come down and enjoy.
Events included snowshoeing, a sledge hockey demonstration, sledding, and a family skate. And it got good reviews from people who came out.
Our favorite thing was to go skating. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Organizers had to cancel the ice fishing and musical jamboree due to the weather, but they plan to hold the event every long weekend in February from now on. Back to you, Artan and Kaya.
We need to take a short break, but while we do, tweet us at WTV Media.
Let us know you're watching, and after the break, we'll have more of your city and your stories.
And here it is, the greatest advance in television since color television itself.
Welcome back. Caring for a child can be expensive, but when that child has a severe disability, it can be even more difficult.
I sat down with a local mom who's asking for the public's help. This is Noah Eisner as a baby. This is him now, 15 years old. Noah suffers from multiple disabilities such as spastic quadriplegic, cerebral palsy, epilepsy, cortical visual impairment and speech impairment. But Noah's mother, Tara, sees beyond all that.
He is a rock star. For someone who has such high needs, Noah wakes up and enjoys life every day.
Noah's challenges have meant big financial challenges for the family due to medical bills. 2 years ago, both of Noah's parents were laid off, forcing the family to give up their accessible home. Now his father is working a minimum wage job, but it's still hard to make ends meet. Tara says the family has accumulated over $200,000 in debt. Although they've managed to pay most of it, the Eisners are hoping to raise $50,000 to clear the debt.
We started a campaign asking people across Canada to listen to Noah's story and donate as much as they could. And it started about a year ago, and we asked for $50,000, and we've now we've gotten that down to about $20,000 left owing, and we have now started what we've called the 5 for 5 campaign.
The 5 for 5 campaign is asking people to donate $5 to the remaining amount of debt. Tara says if they reach 4,000 people, they will be able to clear the debt. Their goal is to clear the debt within the next 4 weeks before Noah's surgery, where surgeons will have to break and reconstruct both hands and wrists. Tara says the times have been tough for the family and they need the financial support to be able to keep the accessible van.
We need to rely heavily on a wheelchair lift van, which comprises roughly about $10,000 of the $20,000 that's left owing.
Tara is also hoping to raise $10,000 for a legacy fund to help other special needs families.
And if you want to support Noah, check out Noah's Journey on Facebook. That's a really important story, Artan. I hope they do reach their goal.
I do too as well. Basketball fans are in for a treat with 2 university championships coming to town. Alan April is here to tell us more. Alan?
That's right. From February 26th to March 1st, the Atlantic University Sports Men's and Women's Basketball Championships will be held at Halifax's Scotiabank Centre. This is the first time that both the men and the women share the same stage on the same weekend. And that's exciting news for one local basketball family that will be at the center of the action.
Stumberger for 2.
Tessa Stamberger is a star forward in her 4th year playing basketball for the Dalhousie Tigers. Like many athletes, she has a close relationship with her coach.
I really know, what not what she's going to say, but I can interpret her well, and that kind of comfort level definitely would be the best thing, I think.
Tessa's coach was a star for the Tigers in the late 70s and 80s, who went on to play and coach professionally in Germany. She's also Tessa's mom.
I get to spend a little bit more time with her, which is really awesome. We have this common passion, not even interest, but common passion of basketball.
Anna Stamberger was named Dalhousie's head coach in 2009. She says coaching her daughter is easy for her.
It's great for me. I think for her, who wants to have their mom around all the time on road trips and their mom being the coach, I think that's got to be challenging for her.
Noel Pendergrass played basketball at Dal in the 80s and is now an assistant coach to his sister, Anna. And the family connection doesn't stop with the women's team.
At forward, number 7, Sven Stumberger.
In Germany, where I grew up, my mom would play on her professional team there, and I watched all the games, went to the practices, so I kind of grew up with basketball, and that's how I got to love it.
Tessa's younger brother Sven is a 6'5" starting forward on the Tigers men's team, having a breakout season in his 2nd year of eligibility. Tessa and Sven admit to a bit of a sibling rivalry, especially when they play head-to-head.
We're happy for each other if we play well. It's more if we play one-on-one, which we don't do a lot of because he is quite a bit bigger than me, but I get pretty competitive.
We had close games. I mean, she played basketball too. She was probably, back then, she was probably a bit stronger than me, but now I get them all the time.
This is the first year the men's and women's championships will be held over the same weekend at the Scotiabank Centre.
It definitely brings a little bit more nerves, but also excitement. I'm really excited. The whole team's excited just to have the opportunity to be treated as equals with the guys.
With both Tigers teams near the top of the standings, the Stamberger family could be playing for 2 championships on the same day.
Well, that would be pretty exciting. I mean, not just for the Stamberger family, but for Dalhousie, because we're all about the team and we're Dal people. So if Dal teams can win AUS championships, we're ecstatic.
And you can still get tickets for the games by contacting Ticket Atlantic, or you can catch them live right here on Eastlink TV. Back to you, Artan and Kaya.
When we think of yoga, we usually think of stretching and bending and posing like downward-facing dog.
But Dylan McNeil shows us a kind that's designed to give your funny bone a workout.
This is laughter yoga. While traditional yoga exercises the body, laughter yoga exercises your mental health through laughing. Participants do improv-like activities while laughing. The forced laughter then turns into real laughter. 2 years ago, Bruce Miller took laughter yoga training. Now he puts on a session every Saturday at the Alderney Gate Library.
It has been probably one of the best things that I've ever done.
Laughter yoga can influence the endorphins and serotonin in your brain and improve your mental health, something Miller has first-hand experience with.
I had anxiety and some stuff happening. I didn't know what it was, and so I get diagnosed myself with anxiety and depression. And now I do understand what that part of life is all about.
James McDuff attended Miller's class for the first time on Saturday. He says people could benefit from doing laughter yoga.
And we have a stressful lives, and just the opportunity to sit down and breathe, whether you do that type of yoga or whether you do laughing type yoga, it's all about mental health and well-being, and so why wouldn't you want to do that?
Miller wants people to know laughter yoga has benefits even after the session has ended.
I want people to experience that whole positive environment and that you can produce that yourself. As during the laughter yoga session today, if you're on the bus and if you're by yourself and you're like looking at everybody and they're stressed, you're the one who can change how people view life.
Miller says no matter how many people show up, his class is a success.
Even if there was only one person here, or even if nobody showed up, it doesn't mean I'm a failure.
Dylan McNeil, WTV, Dartmouth.
Thanks, Dylan.
We'll be right back.
Gosh, the news is so boring. Except right now, because you're watching WTV! Woo!
That was radio student Lucas Mancini in the CCKC studio with that classic Mancini energy.
Now, in a time when Spotify and iTunes rule the music world, one local band has turned to the past as a way to share music.
Here's Duncan McNeil with more.
Inside this house is the Everywheres, a band from Halifax. In a time when CDs are on the out and the internet is king, the Everywheres are doing things a little different.
I also saw like small cassette labels from other places in North America doing it, and I thought, well, why not try that instead of a CD?
So far, the Everywheres have 3 releases on cassette. Samuel Hill plays guitar and sings in the band. Hill says putting music out on cassette has its benefits.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than records, infinitely cheaper. It sounds better than a CD.
It costs the band just $50 to make 25 tapes. They then sell them for $5. Konstantin Yakovlev buys tapes. Yakovlev says buying tapes works out for both him and the band.
It supports the band, supports the labels. No matter how good of a quality of a scan of the artwork I end up getting by downloading a release, it's not as good as having the physical object in my hands.
When it comes to releasing a cassette, packaging is everything, and it's something many bands do themselves.
With smaller bands who actually make their own tapes and stuff like that, I get to see that I end up with what's basically a handmade product.
In a digital age where music is being stored on computers, Samuel Hill says the physical format is always better.
Up until recently, it's always been physical, just like any kind of art. It's like asking, well, why would you hang that painting on your wall if you could just type in the name of the painting on the internet and look at the picture whenever you felt like it? I feel like it's the same kind of thing.
And with tape players becoming less common, Hill says he isn't worried.
If you really want to listen to it, you're going to find a way.
Duncan McNeil, WTV News, Halifax.
Thanks, Duncan. Folk tales from the African Nova Scotian community are coming out of the history books and onto the TV screen.
A new series is just wrapping up production in Halifax. I stopped by earlier this week.
To get it to stop, you gotta clap 3 times.
A new 4-part series about African Nova Scotian history is in the making. This is on set of Studio Black. Bill McGilvery is the writer and producer of Studio Black. He says the idea came from true stories told by African Nova Scotians that were gathered almost 100 years ago.
The stories, the basic story elements were collected in the 1920s by an American who came up to Nova Scotia and went to all the black communities, the rural black communities. And he interviewed a whole bunch of people and got stories from them.
CBC license now will come to life with the help of a CBC license and a Eastlink production fund. Peter Sutherland is a camera operator at CBC. He was assigned to the program and found something pretty cool about Studio Black.
Not a lot of people of color in the industry, and this is refreshing to have the whole cast and director and a lot of the background help being part of it, and it is Studio Black.
The entire cast, directors, and most of the crew are African Nova Scotian. Nathan Simmons is one of the actors.
It shows that Black History Month will be more than just a thing about history, it'll be about everything, black culture, even the old folktale stories that they used to say.
Today, the crew is shooting an episode where Nathan plays a boy named Sonny. Him and his mother are poor, so Sonny decides he will get up and search for a way to provide. That's when he meets the man stuck in a mountain. McGilvery says this production is an unusual package, and he's excited for people to tune in and be entertained.
It's funny. Yeah, I mean, the stories are funny, the actors are great, so there's a lot of really good laughs in it.
The production of Studio Black wraps up on Tuesday and will be a regional special on CBC this summer. If enough people like the show around the region, it will be played nationally.
I'll be watching. It seems like a cool way for a story to be told.
Yeah, definitely.
Now for some more entertainment news, let's check in with first-year student Nicole Martel.
I'm Nicole Martel, and welcome to WTV's Entertainment Highlights. This Friday and Sunday,
the Minikins are playing at the music room. NSCC's Gabe Minikin and his sister, Ruth, will combine glorious harmonies with an assortment of instruments. Tickets are $25. Bring your child out to Scratch Day at Volta this Saturday. Scratch is a project that allows your child to create their very own interactive stories, games, and animations. The event is free. You just need a laptop and charger. Register at eventbrite.ca. Also this Saturday, support Syrian refugees by attending a gala fundraiser hosted by Islamic Relief Canada. The event includes dinner, a silent auction, and will be held at the Westin Hotel. Tickets are $50 and can be purchased at irelief@dal.ca. And finally, this Sunday is going to be a doggy extravaganza with the Dartmouth Sportsplex hosting the Doggy Expo. Come see local pet businesses, rescue groups, and other dog lovers. It starts at 10 a.m. and admission is $5. That's your entertainment for this week. Back to you.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a martial art, combat sport, and a self-defense system.
It involves joint locks, holds, chokes, and defending through resistance.
And WTV's Amanda Gallagher hit the mats with an all-female group to give it a try.
My name is Amanda Gallagher. I'm here at Titan's Gym in Bears Lake, and I am about to try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for the first time. To be quite honest, I'm pretty anxious right about now, but hopefully it works out. About to get suited up. What's your favorite part of doing jiu-jitsu?
Oh, definitely the rolls at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you can successfully submit somebody with what you've been drilling that same day, that's a great feeling. After the technical portion of the class, the technical portion is when what we just did, we learned how to do our chokes and our submissions. We do rolling, and rolling is when we learn how to, we try to put our technical, what we learned in technique into practice.
I'm too tired. I tapped out. I don't think I can do anymore. Oh my God.
Let's go. It's really exhausting. Just two more minutes. One and a half minutes.
Sally. So as you can see, I had quite the experience today. Thanks a lot to Sally. Thanks for having me here.
It was my pleasure.
It's been great. Overall, how did I fare?
Amanda did really well. Everybody feels like they're the worst at jiu-jitsu when they start jiu-jitsu, but she did really, really well. Especially for the first time. I thought you did a really great job.
We trained her to say that.
Thanks, Amanda. If watching Amanda get tossed around makes you want to try out jiu-jitsu yourself, good news, anyone can sign up.
Kaya, do you think you have what it takes?
It looks like fun, but I'd probably tap out the first minute.
Well, that's it for us at WTV. Check out our past episode stories and get to know our crew at waterfronttv.org.
On behalf of everyone on both sides of the camera, thank you for watching WTV this year. The show will be back in September with new faces and a new crew.
We'll leave you now with a quick look behind the scenes.
I'm Graham McDougall. Welcome to the WTV studios. Come on in, I'll show you around. So this is the WTV control room. This is where the magic happens. It's kind of like the behind-the-scenes hub of the show. So this is the switching board. This allows the director to cut from camera to camera, and it shows what camera is going to go to air. As you can see, it's a lot of buttons. Like, I wonder what this button does.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
This is the audio board. This is what controls the volume of the reporter's mic. Now, as you can see, when I lower this fader, if you want to see more behind the scenes, check us out online at waterfronttv.org. Well, there you have it. A rough guide to behind the scenes at WTV. We saw our control room, we saw our studios, we saw some of our equipment. But one thing we didn't see are the people. WTV has a great crew of people working very hard every week to put on the show for you. From our first years, our second years, even our instructors. And I'm sure I speak for all of them when I say, working on WTV has been a blast and an absolute pleasure. Take care, everybody. Graham McDougall, WTV News, Dartmouth.